you go.
Oh, great, we're recording now. All right. It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today. Cesar Cardona is a public speaker and mindfulness educator certified by Rice University. Shaped by his diverse upbringing and profound life experiences, he inspires audiences with stories of resilience, connection, and growth. Caesar's creative and inspiring storytelling weaves personal insights with universal truths, empowering individuals to embrace inclusion, mindfulness, and the shared human experience. Please join me in welcoming Caesar!
That's a good one.
Oh, my goodness. Usually when people say Hail Caesar, I need to watch my particular friends.
Right. Yeah.
We're the Unitarians.
I'll move to the front, I hope that's okay for everybody.
Good one.
Watch the cord. It may be a little iffy.
Yeah. I already fell over it once.
Fantastic. Good morning.
Good morning.
Going to, then we go to the next slide.
Oh, sure.
I am going to start by thanking you all for having me here again. This is maybe the third, maybe fourth time, I'm not too sure. But nonetheless, you've always been so warm and inviting. And if I may say also, this is the unexpected part, that my way into speaking at about 15 to 20 UU congregations in Southern California have been, by the way, one man. So thank you. Thank you for being you. For being here. Good to hear you. How are we feeling this morning? Good? What about now? Okay. And then how are we feeling overall? That's what I was asking. That's what I wanted to actually. It's an interactive talk I'm going to give here, so please feel free to call out, talk, answer, whatever comes up for you.
Okay.
You can start.
Get rid of the colonist name out of high school. There you go. That's been 6 years already.
If I name some of the emotions here, and they resonate with you, let me know. Anxious.
Yep.
Worry.
Yep.
Fear.
Yep.
Anger.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one, right? Anger. We live in a very interesting time. A lot of waves crashing into each other. Find myself every day thinking about this scenario. Somewhere in February-ish of 2025, my partner, Foster Wilson, came to me and said, the women's group that I'm in on Facebook is boycotting Target. And someone posted asking, where the hell do I put my money now? Where do I buy from? Because Walmart is also boycotted by them, and Home Depot, and some of the grocery stores as well. Because of the change of administration, put pressure on these other companies to make them change their own structure and systems. Now, I resonate with that question. I resonate with your fear, your worry, your anxiety, your anger. Because I am, just as you, tired of opening my phone and seeing devices. I'm tired of every news article mentioning one particular politician's name. I'm tired of this being the image or the metaphor of our lives. I'm tired of them dividing us while they conquer. I'm tired of us being the people under the table while the ones up top are eating on our backs for our work, from our tired effort. The stock market right now is very high. It's higher than Willie Nelson's tour bus. So are gas prices for us.
Oh, yeah.
So are our foods, our cost of living. And I think, in addition to the stress of opening our phones, this might stress you out as well to go into your wallet every day, knowing that these companies are just taking their money and holding it. I know it wasn't too long ago, but we're still waiting on those trickle-down economics. I think about this image a lot, how it's the metaphor. And then I think to myself, what would happen if these people just stood up? What if they all started having a conversation with each other, recognizing the similarities, the things that we find in common, the overlapping, and put our energy, forces, and our conversations there? What would happen if we go to understand our system, understand each other, as opposed to letting others divide and therefore conquer? What would happen if us, the common people, started using common sense? What would happen if we became not just mindful in our being, but if we started buying mindful as well? Some of you were here before when I gave my very first talk, as about 8-ish years ago, I was almost killed in an assault by a group of men. They fractured my eye socket, fractured my nose, knocked out the forefront of my teeth, knocked out the bridge of my over above my teeth. Front of my tongue was cut off. The ambulance actually cut it off. My bladder was punctured, so they had to cut me open, stitch me shut, and staple me closed. That feels like what America is right now. This learning how to walk and talk again because it has been obliterated. The destruction of a system that we put in order that moves slow for a purposeful and beautiful reason. Someone came over in their red tie and just kicked the system. During that time while I was healing, I read about Amazon union busting their employees. And I found it to be a cosmic joke. How could one of the most richest people in the world use the power that the people gave them to oppress those same people? In that moment, I decided to stop buying from Amazon. And that led into the Walmart from you and Chick-fil-A and junk food in general, different conversation. But I also gave up foods because that was the way in for us. How many of us want to put our money somewhere knowing that what we buy can be at our front door tomorrow? Not today. You know, Amazon in certain parts of the country have a feature where you can rent goats and they'll mow your yard for you. It's the time we're living in of sheer convenience, and privilege. And we fulfilled our side of the bargain by working hard, building this country to be one of the richest countries in the world, giving our sweat, our blood, our tears, in some cases our lives, just for them to take the money and hold it up top. It made me angry. Back to that word again, angry. And then I remembered as a Buddhist how anger is meant to be viewed. Because the Buddha himself says having anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So we feel this anger right here in our bones. By the way, I picked this photo of the Buddha because I just wanted somebody, a Buddha that looks similar to me. I feel like if the Buddha played bass, this is who he would be. Like a funk band or something.
Yeah.
And so I want you all to just try and experiment with me right now. Think about an individual that brings you anger. When you got him, say, got him. That was very fast. Okay.
You know who we're thinking of. I get it.
You have him, you're holding on to him, you feel this anger. That person right now doesn't know you're angry. And so they're not affected by it. But you are. You are affected by the anger. It attacks your immune system directly. And so we find over time that the fire of anger can overflame all of us. The same fire that can cook our meals can burn down a whole house. So let us understand how to transform that by being mindful and buying mindful. And I'll get to how we can buy mindful in a moment, but we have to start within ourselves first and understand that we need to use the fire to cook the meal. From there, we turn anger into activism, stress into strategy, our dollars into diplomacy. Because in this society, by the way, a capitalist society, it is not a protest society. As effective as that is, this country runs on dollars, not on Duncan, on dollars. It runs on a very, very simple system. They produce, we consume, just buy. They reiterate, do it again. And the cycle keeps continuing. But at some point, what we gave them was kept at the top. And so what happens if we decide to say, we're going to consume somewhere else? I'm not a capitalist, but I am a pragmatist. I'm a person who lives in the society of what we have now to make it better, to get to the point of what we want in the future. So what happens if we move our money somewhere else? What happens if we start to gather together and converse about where we put our money in a capitalist society? There's a clue into that answer because it wasn't too long ago, in this year, that a little over 1,000 people unsubscribed from Disney. They lost their market value at about $5 billion in a week's time. And just like that, boom. Next slide, please. This thing's not working. There we go. One late night talk show host was back on the air. My friends, that is the clue into what they care about. That is realizing right in front of us in real time the power that lies with we the people. That turns our wallet into our weapon. Our dollars into our democracy, our buying power to our ballot. Whereas we can vote every single day, not waiting on every 2 years for the midterms or 4 years for the election, which, by the way, anytime the election doesn't go a certain person's way, they'll say we cheated. What are we doing? I'm not even here to be divisive about it either, because there's mudslinging from both sides. There's misinformation from both sides. Before we go out to those people and tell them how they're wrong, we need to check and see what we can do better. This society that's structured based upon dollar, this is where we start. One of the main ways we all know about is buying local. That's a very, very effective way. Your dollars go to the place that you're living, to somebody who runs a store that lives in your neighborhood as well. You can get to know them on a personal level. You can find out what they believe, what they care about, who they care about. And, not but, in a society that is becoming more centralized and globalized, and for some of us who don't have the time because of this society to go and find every single small business chain, there are, unspoken by the way, unpromoted by the way, yet still continuously growing, centralized companies, businesses that are being held accountable and that are taking their ethics as the pinnacle or the driving point for how they run their business. You might have seen this image before, perhaps. B certified corporations, the B with the circle around it. Has anybody heard of these B corporations? Yeah? No? B corporation is an organization that a company can go to. For example, if I come and say, I am Cesar Cardona, I teach growth mindfulness, I'd love to become a corporation. They say, great, we need you to follow a triple bottom line. Profit, people, and planet. How do you pay your employees? How healthy and happy are they when you tend to them? Do they have health care? Do they have lunches? Second, your output. Are you just dumping stuff into the street when you're dumping it? What is your product like for the environment? And third, very important part, your investments. Are they being held accountable ethically, same way you're holding yourself? B corporation will audit you, and they'll give you a grade. Now, most companies that we can think about, again, the Target, Walmart, so on, they're graded at about a score of 50. Just to get a certification, you have to score 80. And if you hit that 80, B Corp will give you a certification to go on your brick and mortar. In your brick and mortar, go on your product or on your website. And this is the part where we come. Because we can go to this website. And we can look up categories of furniture, food, groceries, tea, coffee, clothes, you name it, and find the brands that care more about just the dollar. Again, I'm not here to be divisive because I understand the times we live in where we have to produce and money is, and capitalism has gotten us here. The fact that somebody can sit at their home and watch me on this video is a product of capitalism. There are benefits to it. And also it's gone way too far. Way too far. Since 2019, right after my assault, I started moving over to buying from companies that are ethically sound. And it takes a while because there's a lot of adjustments that need to be done in our lives. Since that time, these companies have gotten bigger, they've been more effective in how they spend and how their output is. And they start to show up on billboards and in grocery stores. So a few of them that I'll pull up here, which there are tons, hundreds, thousands even. A few of them I'm going to pull up here are quite easy, but are easy to find, excuse me. However, I want to show these to you just so you can see how readily available they are to all of us. so we can make those changes. I'll run through these quite quickly here. Green Retirement is a 401k investment company. That's a B corporation. It's ethically sound, pay their employees well, green environment, and their investors are all ethically accountable for the same thing. I've also been in contact now with the owner of Green Investments. He's one of the first B certified corporations. A lot of these other ones here you can find in grocery stores. Bigelow Tea, that's a B corporation. There are Bigelow Tea right back there. The tea that we're drinking from in this building is Bigelow. 7th Generation Cleaning Supplies, Drops is liquid as laundry and dish detergent respectively. Better Road Books is one of my favorites. You can buy books online. They're usually much cheaper than the other bookstore. And every book you buy, they donate to a place in need. And a portion of your dollars goes to a literacy fund. Ecosia is a search engine. These are not as, this one is not as great as Google, of course, but it's on the way. And by the way, Ecosia is a not-for-profit, not non-profit, not-for-profit search engine. And they're not going to steal all of your data. Olipop and Dr. Squatch are sodas and deodorants, respectively. And majority of these, the drops, the drinks, and the tea, are found in your grocery store. And I point these out to you because they're easy ones to start. I have a newsletter, that's where this QR code goes to, that sends out weekly new companies that we can start gathering and put our money towards. Because the ultimate point is this. The power has always lied within we. Whether they tell us on our phones or not, we have the power. Because we have the numbers, we have the money, we have the work ethic, we have the... This country is built upon us. And every single day we can vote with our dollars. Every single day we step to each other and share this information. It's how we can learn how to make the changes we want. We saw it happen with Jimmy Kimmel. There was only a few thousand people that said we're backing out of this. And Disney scrambled faster than the eggs I cooked this morning. They take that seriously. And if you want to look at corporations and think to yourself they are bigots or amoral or racist, sure, fine. But I will tell you the one color they care about green. And that's our way into it. Unfortunately, we've got to a place now that we have to make these adjustments because we've done the things on our side, but they haven't fulfilled their side of the deal, corporations or government. It wasn't supposed to be this way, but here we are. And now we need to make the changes. And now we need to make the adjustments in this world and say, no more. Where my money goes should help that family and the environment. No more taking my money and holding it up there because Reagan said that it would come back down. Still waiting, by the way. Still waiting. Right? Wasn't even alive when he said it. I'm still waiting. And so, with every single cent we have, we can make those changes. And it starts quite small, by the way. We don't have to make this grand scale of adjusting every single thing. What we can do is one bit at a time. Just like an acorn grows a tall tree, and the healthier the roots, the higher the canopy, the sweeter the fruit. Fruits similar to the oranges that Brandon brought. That's the action that we can make every day in our lives. The power always will lie with us. At every given moment, it will lie with us. And we've seen it happen time and time again. This is not the first time somebody's came in as a tyrant and tried to take over this entire country. This will not be the last time either. But I will say, the fact that we have this information, and we have globalization, and we can share all of this by way of our tech, means that we can put a curb on this. I stand here with this information ahead. I pass it on to you. I get no money from any of these companies or any of the other ones I share because I'm here for America. I'm here for the planet. I'm here for human beings. All of our dollars and every moment that we make a change is the betterment of this society, better for our families and the families of the people that we'll never meet and the generations that we'll never see. Do you hear what I'm saying here? Does this come across clear? Every single moment we have an opportunity to turn it around. And the anger that we feel is valid. And it's most effective when we learn how to cope with it instead of burn. And so I have dedicated myself to start this community of learning how to vote with our dollars, how to weaponize our wallet, how to use our buying power as our ballot, how to make every single moment that we choose to be effective for something better, something more inclusive, something more peaceful, something more productive, something less divisive. The same manner in which I don't want to go back to how my body was after the assault, it's the same way I don't want to see the country become that same broken. Lincoln was right when he said a house divided cannot stand within itself. And right now it's quite divided. We lead the way with our pockets, our pocketbooks, wallets, our dollars. Every single one of us can make a change. All of us, the common people, with our common sense. Thank you so much.